I want Kansas City.
Yeah. Right? They were. It's one game. You don't want to overreact.
True.
But with them, they have the track record already, so you believe most of what you saw. And
didn't they lose their opener last year?
Yeah, they lost to the Lions.
Yeah,
right to the Lions. But the only weakness you thought that they had in the last 2 years when they won the Super Bowl both years, was that they didn't have much of a wide receiving core. And late last season, it looked like Rashee Rice was trending up. He obviously had a great game yesterday. But Xavier Worthy, who they drafted.
My God.
I mean.
What pick was he?
28.
28.
See, this is what happens,
Browns
man.
would have had a pick before that.
These stockpile guys,
They don't
listen,
take receivers with third round.
the Kansas City
They can't
Chiefs
pick good
do it
receivers.
every time. The Kansas City Chiefs do what other teams are afraid to do. We would have been like, we have Rashee Rice. We don't need another guy that runs a 2-flat 100-yard meter dash. What are we going to do with him? We have DPJ. Listen,
Operation Stockpile.
They show you how to overdo it every single time.
They really are a model organization.
Oh yeah.
They're going for 3. Hasn't been done ever
since the 60s.
Okay,
that don't count.
No, for pre-Super Bowl, which who cares about?
Yeah, in the Super Bowl era, no one's done 3. They've won 3 in the last 5.
I think the last three-peat in any sport was the Lakers.
I think it was
right with Kobe and Shaq.
You're right. But they are a model organization in the way they operate. First of all, I think whatever the sport is, you have to figure out what is the must-have. The one thing you have to have before you can win a championship. And it's different, obviously, for each sport, but for football, we know it's quarterback. And they went and got that, and ever since, they've just been adding the other essential parts. And like a great organization, when they leave, they rotate new ones in, and they know how to draft.
And they let guys go. They don't re-sign everybody. They pick and choose who they let go, and they're usually right. I mean, they're becoming like what the Patriots were when Brady and Belichick were in their prime. And, you think about it. Patrick Mahomes didn't go first. I know he went in the first round.
Yeah, but it wasn't
But going into that draft.
Look at the quarterbacks that went ahead of them.
And as great as Myles Garrett is, the Browns should have taken Patrick Mahomes. There's really no argument. As great as Myles Garrett is, they should have taken Patrick Mahomes. Now, none of us were saying that at the time.
Nobody.
But Patrick Mahomes is as good a quarterback as we've ever seen. Their starting running back, who's excellent, was drafted in the 7th round.
To put that into perspective and how important it is that you hit on that, the Niners thought that Trey Lance was that guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, he was highly touted coming out.
Yep.
He wasn't the first pick, but he was a high pick. And you can look at the difference in how they worked out. You can go way back, Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf. They were taking 1 and 2, and one defined a franchise in a good way, and the other defined a franchise in a bad way.
And that is why we given the track record with these quarterbacks. You don't know what you're going to get. That's why the Browns made the move they made.
When you have a chance to get one, you get one.
It may not work out, but you got to make the move. It's just like hitting on the 14 at the casino. Yeah. The rules say you
hit on 16, man. Ain't nothing worse than having to hit on 16.
Oh,
no, you're right.
By the way, the one example we didn't give is 2018. Baker first overall, he's mediocre.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold second overall, he's terrible.
Awful.
And the two best quarterbacks for that draft are Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
Rosen is
Rosen terrible.
Yeah.
Josh Allen was the third quarterback taken. Yeah. Lamar Jackson the 5th quarterback taken. They're 2 of the 5 best quarterbacks.
You just can't project. It's really difficult.
It's hard.
And there's some good teams that have missed.
Of course.
San Francisco's a good team.
Yeah.
They know how to assess talent. They just got that wrong.
They fell into Brock Purdy.
Shout out.
They
to
did.
You're
right. And we talked in the past about how the Rams, when they went on the all-in trade, when you give up those first-round draft picks, it puts an onus on you to hit in the 3rd and 4th round. They hit it running back. They hit it wide receiver. On lottery picks, those were scratch-offs.
Defense, too. They've gotten a lot of good.
And the defense they've gotten.
Yeah,
Speaking of a scratch-off ticket, I picked up Isaiah Likely and didn't play him, you fool.
Oh, my goodness.
How did you not play him?
Yes.
But how were you going to know? You couldn't have expected that.
No, but what a jump.
I didn't know he was going to put Mark Andrews on the milk box.
I know.
Good gracious.
I thought he broke his elbow.
I did too.
And then he's back on the field in 2 plays.
Yeah.
I know it. And
Pacheco
made
too.
an incredible catch that was, if his shoe is a half size smaller.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Kevin Durant from the Eastern Conference Finals team.
You know what sucked? I mean, I'm glad that the Ravens took the L. Really glad.
Yeah, but they were going to go for 2.
But what really sucked was we were robbed of potentially one of the greatest finishes we'll see all regular season in game one
because he was
saying 2-2-2.
Of course you go for 2.
And you got to think with Lamar Jackson and Likely and all the options they have, I would have liked their chances a lot to convert and win. But we'll never know.
I said yesterday on the show I thought Baltimore was going to win. I thought the whole game Baltimore was going to win. Even when they were down 10, they're going to win.
I never thought they were going to win.
I always thought they were going to win.
When they got the ball back and it was 27-20, I thought, who aside from Patrick Mahomes do you want?
Right.
And Lamar Jackson, I'll tell you, the one thing that really took away from his performance last night, first of all, and Collinsworth did a great job pointing this out, I'm watching the game going, do they have a vertical passing game? In the third quarter, he talked about their average depth of target was 1 yard.
Yeah.
Inside the red zone, and this is when things get tight for Lamar, things fall apart. He was 1 for 8 throwing the football inside the red zone.
Yeah,
and he missed a wide open receiver on the play before.
Through behind them.
That Zay Flowers couldn't have been more wide open.
Yeah.
And he missed him.
Yeah.
He missed Likely on the play before, too.
I know he did.
And Mike and I were talking, how does Patrick Mahomes catch that ball before the 2-minute warning with 2 Ravens on him?
Because he's a freak.
That's
Not just
a
2
huge
Ravens,
play.
both of them are taller than him.
Yeah.
And bigger than him.
Because they get the ball back before the warning. Like the clock stops. That was a massive play that goes unnoticed.
Absolutely.
Him making that catch and keeping the clock running. That dude's incredible.
Travis Kelce didn't even have, a big game yesterday.
He didn't slay it. Isaiah Likely was the best tight end in yesterday's game.
Is he better than Andrews by the end of the year? Does he still play in Andrews?
I mean, it looks like he is right now.
I mean, they was looking for him like spot shadow. Like, we got to find him.
He's a wide receiver playing tight end.
They should use both which they were.
Well, look what the Patriots did
they only
have
have
Gronk and Hernandez.
They don't have any good receivers besides Zay Flowers.
Well, Zay Flowers, guys,
he's really good.
Zay Flowers is going to, pardon the pun,
but they don't have anybody
else
else.
This year.
Bateman's a nothing, and the rest of their receivers are nothing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I mean, Likely and Andrews are 2 of their top 3
But
pass
remember
catchers.
when Belichick went with the double tight ends? Yeah. It was a cheat code. Yeah. Because a lot of teams will have one linebacker that can stick with a tight end like that.
Yeah.
Nobody has 2 linebackers that can guard those guys.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a cheat code. And you talk about the model franchises, and Kansas City is clearly one of them.
Yeah.
You have to put Baltimore right up there, maybe supplanting Pittsburgh, which used to be that.
Sure.
I think Baltimore has taken over Pittsburgh's role as one of those franchises that just rotates players in. And I don't think Henry was overwhelming yesterday.
No.
But you can see how he's going to be a weapon in goal line situations.
Sure, yeah.
You can't key on him because Jackson will kill you.
Yeah, they did go with Justice Hill a lot, especially at the end in the passing game, because Derrick Henry's not much in the passing game. But, yeah, obviously in short yardage situations and goal line situations, when you have Lamar and Derrick Henry in the backfield, it's tricky. I'm not sure. It's one game. Right. I was not impressed with their defense. I know they did make some stops, but we'll see.
Early on, both teams got the ball and went right down and scored.
Yeah, and Baltimore's got some question marks on their offensive line too. But
yeah, they do.
But the
Chris
Chiefs,
Jones could have had 12 sacks if it wasn't Lamar Jackson back there.
And I think that's why Baltimore is going with the quick hitters. They don't.
Yeah.
They just don't have now. Late in the game, when they had to drop back and throw, they were successful because Jackson's feet are golden.
I will say this, McNuggets. I think the biggest part was they executed very well for week 1. Both teams. There was a couple hit or misses there, but for the most part, the offense looked like they were in mid-season form.
Yeah. Both teams look. It was a hell of a fun game to watch.
It was entertaining.
One team that played in the preseason and one team that didn't.
Yeah.
So
Just tells you nothing.
Let me ask you guys this. We'll wrap it up this way with a thumb up or thumb down. Thumb up if you're more concerned about the Ravens than we were before last night. Thumb down if you're less concerned about the Ravens.
I think
let's go all in.
I'm going thumbs down.
I'm thumb up.
I'm going exactly what I thought.
I'm more concerned.
I'm with Jason Lloyd. I already knew they was nice.
Yeah,
I'm more concerned, and Isaiah Likely's the reason why. Because we talk about the 2 tight ends.
Yeah.
My goodness. If they can parlay that into something with Zay Flowers as a deep threat and with Jackson running the football.
I think
we'll see. They've never shown that before, the 2 tight ends.
They have not.
Teams may adjust.
Didn't all 3 of us yesterday? You weren't here.
I wasn't
the
here.
3 of us all took like 2 wins off the Ravens from last year, didn't we?
Yes.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. So I mean,
that would still be 11 wins.
Right. So you're going to go down from that? Because I think that's right where I thought.
Thumb up is you're more concerned.
I guess I'll stay the same because Their offense looked very impressive. I was not impressed with their defense, but I thought their defense would take a step back coming in. So I'll go sideways.
I mean, they were playing the best
But
team,
I'm more concerned about the Chiefs. And I was already certainly concerned about the Chiefs.
Yeah, any thoughts that their dynasty was wilting? Forget that.
No chance.
I mean
they got to be overwhelming favorites to win the Super Bowl.
I mean, Mike asked for everyone to send in picks, and none of you did. Shame on you. I'm the only good
Wait,
student.
Jay did this morning. Jason did.
Oh, that's a bad job. I thought we were.
right.
I apologize, Mike. It's usually I'm first on the spot.
I will give it
I
away.
have my picks. I screwed up. Didn't realize we were supposed to send them to you preemptively. I should have known that.
It's so boring to pick the Chiefs. It's so boring.
I know.
Listen, this exercise for me is, and every year this is the case. When you go to put down the 14 playoff teams, your mind immediately goes to the 14 that were in last year.
Right, which was never
now,
the case.
I threw Tampa Bay out in the NFC. And
Wait a second here.
What?
Jay Crawford? You threw out Baker Mayfield from the playoffs?
Well, listen, I'm not convinced. I think Atlanta is ready.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
they're
still
ready.
stunned by that.
And so I don't have them getting a wild card. But for me, I'm going through and I went in my mind and I listed the 14.
Yeah.
13 of them were playoff teams last year.
Yeah, that
And
never
then
Yeah,
guess what?
which
My
probably-
Super Bowl matchup is exactly the same as it was last year.
That's why I got spicy, because I couldn't.
Okay,
say
good.
spicy.
All right.
Because you know what? Last year, that no one would have dreamt that the Texans would have been in, and no one would have dreamt that the Bengals would have had the season they did.
Right.
And
You
so
can't
every
predict
year,
injuries
I think there's one or two that fall out in each league every year,
Yep.
in each conference.